Morning everyone. Sunday again, dessert day in the Blanche household. What we're going to be doing over the next few series or sessions of videos is doing some healthy stuff for a change. Okay, we've been under lockdown for a long time. We've been eating far too much rubbish and sugary things. I'm speaking for, Shay and I, not necessarily you. But we're going to do a range of things that have got alternatives to them. Today we're doing a crumble, we've got a baked cheesecake coming up, and then we've also got a stew, and we've got a beetroot cake. So today we are going to make a crumble. Shay and I have just had an argument because he said a crumble is made of equal ratios. Well, good for him. He's the qualified chef. I believe him, but this is my crumble. Okay, Shay, my crumble. The crumble is one of the nicest things and the easiest things to make because you can use all leftover things in the house or leftover fruit that's going a little bit frozen stuff. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you've got for the fruit section as well as for the topping. So I'm going to, as we go along, give you alternatives. We are just doing it in little ramekins today because we're trying to cut down, but it can be done in a big bowl. Fruit first, okay? Today we had pears delivered to us, and unfortunately they did not come in a very good condition. If you're doing it in ramekins like we are today, you cut your pears small. So let's start with that. Pears so they go soft very quickly. Use all those soft ones because that soft one has got all the sugars in it. Just chop them up small for the individual ramekin. If you are doing the big dish, just cut your pears in half. Make sure that you take out the core or anything and put the whole half in your big dish. Right, I'm not going to do more because I've got done enough here. So I've already cut up my pears. Now, I don't add sugar to this because a pear is sweet, and also we are watching what we eat. So we are going pears and cardamom. Lovely, but just use very little cardamom. A pinch of cardamom. Cardamom you either like or you don't like it. Give
it's
it
the
a
ground
sprinkle.
cardamom.
Ground cardamom. If you don't have ground cardamom, you can use, take the little seeds out of the cardamom pod and mash it. I'm putting a touch of cinnamon on here. And then for sweetness, because I'm not using sugar, I'm using half of a clementine. I'm not going to squeeze the whole lot out of that. Okay. Don't put too much liquid in because your fruit, as it cooks, gives off all the liquid. This, by the way, is for our certificate class. It's their practical tomorrow. So they've got to all watch this and then recreate it on Skype. Doing it online is hysterical. Not something that is easily done. Okay? That's all you need to do with this. If you want to use sugars, if you're using something that is a bit sour, you can put your sugar on, you can put xylitol on, honey, maple syrup, agave, anything like that on the fruit section. You'll see I've got some, here's where our argument came. Shay says equal quantity of everything. There, Shay, is that equal quantity? There, okay.
No, because that one's got too little.
Oh, okay. We'll put in one more. Right.
Still too little.
See how quick and easy this recipe is. And you can make it way ahead. Now we get to the crumble part. And this is where you can do your nuts. Anything that is in the house, no, not really, but anything in the baking side that's in the house goes into your crumble. We today are using... To start off with, we're using sunflower seed flour. For a difference, you can use flour, almond flour, coconut flour, macadamia nut flour, whatever there is. We're using sugar in our one. You can replace with xylitol or a non-nutritive sweetener. Bearing in mind, you cannot at this stage add a liquid sweetener like a honey or syrup. It has to be a sugar. We've got a combination of 2 brown sugars. We use this sugar. because it's a natural one. It has not been processed at all. They're expensive, so I normally do half and half. Any of the sugars in this range are good. They're not genetically modified. They're not irradiated.
And you get them from Looters for cheap.
Yeah, you get them from Looters for cheap. Or you can pick them out at Pick and Pay. So that's your base, okay, except for the batter, is your sugar and a flour. Into this, I'm adding oats. You're wondering why I haven't given you quantities. It is because you're either making little dishes or you're making a large dish. Everything here is a half a cup. A half a cup of coconut I'm adding, and then I scrounged through the cupboard and I found some almonds, which I'm adding, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. That's just to make it nice and crisp. And then, so anything, give me some other ideas, Shay. Macadamia nuts if you've got.
Some chopped up dates.
Pardon?
Some chopped up dates.
Chopped up dates. Remember, they'll go a little bit hard in the crumble. Muesli, granola, all of those, all bran flakes. Anything like that can go in so long as it's equal quantities. So if you choose a 1 cup, it's 1 cup of everything. Half a cup, it's half a cup of everything. And then you do your batter. Butter is preferable. Otherwise, if you don't have margarine, otherwise you can also use the coconut oil. I, as you know, grate batter into most things because it just makes it much easier. So grate your batter in. Get it in. You can use less if you're worried about the batter quantity. You can use less. To 1 cup measures, you use 100 grams of batter. So for half cup measures, you will use 50 grams of batter. I will post the recipe for this up. Oh yes, you can use tinned fruit as well. Pineapples, tinned peaches, tinned mixed fruit. Fairy fingers, and in we go. And we start crumbling it all together, bit messy. If anybody's got that, like we used to have in the old days, that pastry cutter, which I've not been able to find for years, you can get it. Use it. It will cut it in much better. Make sure you really do rub this in well. The whole thing about a crumble is that the batter is what melts. It goes down into the fruit. It cooks the sugars in the fruit, and your top is nice and crunchy. You don't need to put any flour in. Okay, you can just use oats and nuts and coconut. It is, I love it. I will, and I know that a number of the families, we do it quite often. Healthy as you like to make it, or as unhealthy as you'd like to make it. Right, you can see it's crumbly, either crumbly or like
if
that.
If it squishes together, then you've got enough. If it doesn't squish together, then you need more butter.
All you do, so I've made sure that I've got the butter and that evenly, and then you're going to pack it on top of your, pack it quite tightly. Okay, if you're using frozen fruit, please do defrost the fruit, because otherwise you're going to get a lot of liquid. Defrost in a sieve so that all the liquid drains through, and then you can put your frozen, well, which are now your thawed berries, in. Nice and tight. Oh, look at all those almonds on there.
You can put some cocoa in there if you want a chocolate crumble.
Yes, chocolate crumble. Cacao, if you can get hold of cacao, which is your raw cocoa. You can get hold of them now at Pick and Pay. There's also another thing by Robertson Spices called Berry Boost, which you can start drizzling over fruit or putting into smoothies. It's just to give you the antioxidants. And get every piece out of there. Okay, every piece. Then that you will place, if you're doing individual ones, on a tray, and they go into the oven, 180, normally about 20-25 minutes, until then you can see the juices will start popping over, and it'll, if you're using strawberries or berries, the juices are going to come right out of your dish and bubble over onto you. So always put, even if you're doing a big one, put it on a baking tray. But that is the lovely part of it. It's a la Jamie Oliver when the juices come off through it. Okay guys, we will see our ASDAN students tomorrow morning, back in the same thing, and I hope the rest of you enjoy it as well. Charlie, bye to the next one.
Bye.